Amazing, welcome to this video. This is going to be a presentation for B2B companies primarily located in Scandinavia, but also the rest of Europe. And I'm going to be covering how you can acquire 4 extra clients every single month for your B2B company using brand-friendly acquisition funnels, is what I prefer to call it. And this is without using hard sell approaches or just coming across being too salesy. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. Now you might be wondering if this is for you. And I can assure that you're going to find this valuable if you're the founder or CEO of a small, medium-sized B2B company doing anywhere between 50 to 500,000 euros per month in monthly revenue, and you're located in either Scandinavia or just the rest of Europe. And you want to increase your revenue by acquiring more clients. However, you want to scale without hiring the big sales team, relying on unpredictable methods like referrals or word of mouth, for example. And you're also going to find this really valuable if you do the outreach consistently and you reach the right prospects, but you just can't seem to get them on a call with you. Or if you have just tried every single outreach method that you can think of, but you still don't see the results that you're looking for, like cold email, cold calling, paid ads, etc. And even if you seem to get a few appointments for your business, you still get on the phone with uneducated people that are confused, and they always ask you something along the lines of, so what do you do in the beginning of the sales call? And you're also going to find this relevant if you feel like prospects just can't see the value in what you offer. And as a result, of course, it makes it impossible to sell your service or product, because why would they buy it if they can't see the value in it? And again, if you rely on these unpredictable methods like referrals, networking, and word of mouth to get clients, but you just realize that it's simply not enough to scale consistently, you also have to keep watching this, because I'm going to show you how you can avoid relying on that. And just in general, if you want to a predictable way instead of having no prediction or consistency in your client acquisition, and you don't want to ruin your brand reputation by coming across as being the overly salesy company when you're doing outbound sales, and you want to stop worrying about getting clients so you can focus on what you're good at, which is the client fulfillment, the service delivery. Here's the thing. Most B2B companies in Scandinavia fail to scale consistently, and there can be multiple reasons for this, but what I have observed is something that no one seems to talk about, and that's because that these companies use aggressive and direct sales tactics that simply doesn't resonate with the local buyers. And if you're from Scandinavia yourself, you know that the Scandinavian market values trust, subtlety, and genuine value. And therefore, these hard sell approaches, they can backfire. They can turn off the prospects rather than engaging them. And these buyers prefer educational content that builds trust over time instead of getting hard pitched immediately. So this leads to longer sales cycles where the patience and trust is really valuable, and it's really what's going to determine how many sales you get. And protecting your brand integrity is therefore crucial, as any inconsistency can damage relationships in your outbound sales. So if you want to succeed, you must, as a company, must align with these strategies and these cultural nuances, and you should focus on building relationships and delivering real value, not just go for the quick wins, the quick sale. Also, you might be wondering who I am. I'm Magnus. I'm the founder of hybridscale.io. I entered the world of online business in 2022, and I quickly became obsessed with it, which led to me starting my own business. And as I started out, I started to network with other people in this space. And as I talked to these people more and more, I learned from others that despite their service, most struggle to get new clients. And at first, I was simply really no different. So I decided to learn marketing and client acquisition from US marketers. And after trying this in Scandinavian markets for a while, I just realized that it simply didn't work. I noticed the buying behaviors and cultures are different here. And as a result of that, I had to create my own system that works for Scandinavia, which is how I ended up here. So at first, really, I was clueless about how to go about client acquisition for my agency. I was selling a commoditized service, which was Facebook ads at the time, to businesses that didn't even really have a need for my service, to be honest. And after a while, I switched my offer to content marketing for coaches and experts, both in the B2B and B2C industry. Not only that, but I also changed my approach to outreach. And after testing, I achieved a much higher reply rate and more interested prospects over time. And I started to wonder at this point, why some people literally reach out to 1,000 prospects without getting a single positive reply. And at the same time, there was me who closed 2 clients after 62 emails with my new offer. And it obviously intrigued me and others I spoke to after we discussed or we compared each other's KPIs really. And it just showed how many variables there are in a potential client's interest in your service. And I just noticed the same common trait in my own clients' acquisition funnels as well. Those who really emphasized an educational sales funnel were the ones who saw the best returns, those who booked multiple calls every single day instead of just having unpredictability in their pipeline. So previously, besides running the agency, I also did B2B appointment setting by cold calling companies at my previous job. And it gave me some solid experience and unique insights that I didn't have without that. And I learned that almost every single prospect that you talk to, they wanted to see some material before getting on a sales call. And they always prefer to get it by email or look online first. And I talked to other people at my job, and it was both the case for new and experienced salespeople there. Even the top sales guys, they were always asked to send over this material before having prospects jump on a call. So I was most interested in the sales part of my online business. And I simply just mastered the fundamentals of generating leads and scheduling appointments reliably, so I knew that it would never become a struggle for me again. And besides that, I also realized that I had to systemize and automate the whole process, so every single thing wasn't reliant on my inputs only. And this way I could get leverage and achieve an outcome that was much more asymmetrical to the time I was putting into this. And by doing this, I also avoided becoming the bottleneck, and success wasn't simply reliant on how much time I put into it. So that's pretty much what resulted in why I'm here today. I really spent all my time building these acquisition systems to get clients consistently, because I just knew that I had to build something that made it unreasonable not to get new clients consistently. So I just want to walk over the steps that you need to take in order to make it unreasonable for you not to add an extra 4 clients per month on top of what you currently acquire. The first step here is setting up an outbound infrastructure. And of course, the reason for this is because getting clients through referrals and word of mouth and networking, of course it works. It's some of the easiest clients to close usually. But the one big problem with doing this only is because it's unpredictable and it's inconsistent. You really have no control over referrals or word of mouth. And you do not know if anyone in your network is looking for your service because you have a limited reach by relying on this. So this is where the importance of outbound sales comes in. And there is a lot of reasons for this, because the most desired benefit of doing the outbound sales is that you get control of your pipeline's growth. And you can directly target certain companies in specific industries and decision makers that fit your ideal customer profile. And this approach really ensures that you can get in touch with prospects that have a higher likelihood of converting into customers instead of waiting for them to come through less predictable methods. So how should you approach outbound sales in the most leveraged way? My simple answer to that is to simply just systemize success. So if you want to make success inevitable, these inputs must occur automatically without relying on you only. And of course, hiring a big sales team can increase your outreach volume and boost your outbound sales, but you have to spend time hiring, training, and monitoring their performance and managing them. And it's not cheap to hire people for your business, of course. And the issue is clear here, it's that the hiring and training, it leaves you with thousands of dollars in payroll every single month, and it's slow and expensive. So the alternative here is to set up an automated prospecting and outreach system that makes it a breeze to do high outreach volume that is highly converting at the same time without spending a lot of money and time on this big sales team. And also, you might not even know if the sales team leaves your job if they find a better paying opportunity, for example. And you can really set up these systems on platforms like email and LinkedIn. And what you would do is you create accounts on these platforms, and after setting up the accounts, you use software to automate the prospecting with them. And I just took a screenshot here of a sending software called smartly.ai. I just wanted to show you how I had set up my own account so you can get a slight overview of what it looks like. And you can see it can give you the same input as a team of sales representatives. And it can be set up way faster, the costs are lower, and it's way more predictable and consistent since there's really no human element in the setup. And these tools, they really let you scale your outreach without hiring an in-house team. And you get a sales system that runs itself without the expensive costs. So after getting this infrastructure up and running, you have to find the businesses you want to target, of course. And the most time-consuming way to do this is by scouting and doing it yourself manually. And that's whether that's you or your employees, it takes a really long time to build a proper list of qualified leads. And even worse, you might find that your lead list, the leads on that you're targeting, have already been pitched so many times by other people in your industry because you're relying on the same sources as everyone else. And instead, what you should do is use new lead scraping tools that make it much faster to scrape thousands of leads easily. And it simplifies and optimizes finding this contact information of your ideal prospects. And these tools, they can really help you find leads from various sources, and they are much better than using the same overused lead lists and sources as other people in your industry. So I just took a screenshot here. It's called Apollo. This is one of my go-to preferred sources for finding leads, so I don't have to spend hours doing it myself, of course. So that way, you're really able to build a huge list of leads without having to trade your time to achieve this. And you can really stop relying on the same leads as everyone else in your industry. And then what you do is you upload these leads that match your ICP into the outreach software, and it will automate the outbound prospecting for you so you don't have to do it manually every single time. And in the settings software, you can really just write messages for these outbound campaigns in sequences. And really for the outbound campaign, you have to build a message that resonates with your target market. And you might worry that prospects can tell that it's automated when receiving or reading the message, but with AI you can really just craft personalized messages for each company, and it will make them much more likely to reply since they can tell that it's for them specifically. And really, when you use an outbound system like this, depending on the size of your market, you can get anywhere from 5 to 30 qualified appointments per month on the low end. And the outcome depends on various elements. And these include the sending volume, your total addressable market, as I just mentioned, and what you sell and what industry you target, like what niche. So what you might be wondering also is like, what if these prospects aren't immediately interested in getting on a call or buying my service? And the exposure of your business and value proposition can just give you the brand recognition. So later down the line, when they have an interest in forming a partnership, they are going to have you in the top of mind because they might not need it right now, but when they see your name the next time, you are going to be the go-to person in their mind for finding a partner for the specific solution that you provide. So really by automating your outbound sales, you increase the volume, but it doesn't guarantee that you see results. So if you aren't seeing the results, you have to change something. And you must iterate on your data instead of assuming it doesn't work. Otherwise, you're just going to be burning through hundreds or thousands of leads every single day. So if your outbound prospecting underperforms, by automating it with cold outreach, it won't just like magically solve your outbound sales just by automating it. You'll get bad results, but the only difference is it's just automated instead. So you really have to understand here that just because you're putting in a big input and long hours, it doesn't mean that you're putting in a lot of good work. And it's something a lot of companies misunderstand, and therefore they end up wasting time and leads. So you have to iterate on your campaigns based on the data from your outbound efforts. So let's say you get extremely unreasonable, of course, but let's say you get rejected 100% of the time. You have to take action on that feedback, look at the results, and rethink your strategy for outbound prospecting. And it's a benefit that no one really seems to go over by doing outbound sales. It's not only a great way to consistently get clients, but it's also a great way to get direct feedback from the target market that you are reaching out to. So I really quickly wanted to list a list of reasons why that even if you're doing the outbound sales but not achieving your desired results, it's most likely because of one of these following reasons, if not all of them, hopefully. Your call to action is too hard. You ask for too much upfront, like getting on a sales call or just buying immediately. Your prospect might have heard the same claim 1,000 times, so you're just number 1001. Or your script or copy sounds too robotic, and they can tell it's automated. And it ties well together with your messages like personalization. And that's why they can tell you have automated the outreach, is because of these two reasons pretty much. It's immediately gonna trigger something in their head that tells them that this was not personalized and this is just something that you're spamming to everyone. So Besides that, what you should do is reevaluate your solution and offer and see if you can position it differently. And you might also simply just be targeting the wrong person in the company. So the step after creating the outbound infrastructure is to create content and build sales assets to get and nurture traffic. So once the infrastructure is set up, the next step is really to create various content and sales assets. And most of these content and sales assets will come up from your sales call notes or your current client's problems. And this way you ensure that your content resonates with your target industry. So I just took a screenshot here of one of my clients' content overview. This is here where we just keep everything organized really. So it goes from idea to uploaded in Drive and the production and the publishing afterwards. And also like if it needs to be revisioned, that is going to happen. So we recreate it. Or before we publish it, we also get it approved, of course. So you want to ensure these assets reach the right people, and you need to distribute them on platforms where your ideal customers are active and seeking information themselves. Assuming you who are watching this is in a B2B industry, I really recommend distributing these pieces of content on YouTube and LinkedIn, if not both, of course. And you might be wondering what these sales assets are. So to explain it simply, sales assets are just anything that conveys value or changes beliefs. They really aim to attract someone to your service, and they demonstrate your expertise and how your solution is valuable. You can create these in text, video, or audio form really. So I just put in a picture here that really shows the process between a prospect and a client. And you can see here, to set the appointment really, you have to get their interest, or the attention first, then you get their interest, then you educate the prospect so they understand the value, and then they book the call to find out the next step, and then you just have to close the deal, and then they're a client. So I just wanted to illustrate it so you understood it a bit more clear. But not only can these assets generate you inbound leads, but you can also leverage them in your outbound campaigns. And the reason why you create these is to capture as much of the market as possible. You get more nurture prospects over time by combining these assets with content. Even though it's not something that's immediately going to change your results, it's a long-term play. Rather think of it that way. Really what this does is it boosts buyer intent and creates reciprocity bias. So they feel the urge to give back. So once you have given something, they seem to be more likely to give you something back. So you have to give them more value to get more trust. You really have to give them more than you are asking for. So what you really should do is design a marketing and sales strategy that aims not to settle for the 3% of the market that is ready to buy right now. Instead, we want to be able to consistently be able to create our own ideal clients. And you have to maximize the pace that you can move a prospect from being cold to sold. So once you start doing this, you can really never struggle to acquire new clients no matter what industry you're targeting, because you're also getting multiple clients from those who are open to buying, but also those who might not even be problem aware yet, because you can educate them on the fact that there is, in fact, a problem in their business and they need a solution for it right now, which leads to them buying faster. But what you notice is that it's something that a lot of people, a lot of B2B companies simply don't emphasize. They don't really create sales assets and content, and they either don't understand the importance or what it should evolve around. So really these assets, they can generate you both they can acquire your clients both through inbound and outbound channels. And the obstacle I see in most people's sales process is that they're booking these sales calls, but the leads are just cold and uneducated. The problem is that you're going to take so many more sales calls for someone to close. And people really just get on a call to find out what you do instead of getting on a call to learn about the price really. And you just want people to be nurtured and educated before they get on the call really. You want to make sure that people are pre-sold, because you want to focus on shifting their beliefs, and it's the most effortless way to increase your closing rate, because when they believe in it, it's much easier for them to sell it to them basically. So the focus of this sales asset should not be pitching, but rather you should be educating and shifting beliefs. You want prospects to sell themselves subconsciously instead of having to be the one doing it. So an example of this could be, for example, breaking down the process on how to go from their current to desired state. And you have to make them realize and believe that it's possible to solve their bottlenecks. And most other appointment setting and lead generation agencies only focus on booking calls for their clients. They set appointments, but they just simply neglect to find ways to nurture the prospects, and it just makes it much harder to get these people on calls. It's almost like the prospect is still cold, but you're just on the phone with them instead. You're just on a sales call instead of texting back and forth or emailing back and forth. And they might give you more sales calls monthly. And of course, don't get me wrong, it's a good start and it's an improvement. But the issue is that you only get on calls with prospects that are sales resistant. And closing these prospects on the phone can be hard when they most likely don't see the value in your solution. So really, the saying of quality over quantity goes for booking calls for your B2B business as well. And that's where the sales assets come in. And by leveraging them, you can increase the quality of your sales calls immediately. So I also want you to just, for a quick moment, I want you to think about how many times you have hopped on a sales call with someone solely after receiving a cold email or a cold message, or just like a paid ad, for example, before consuming any of their content beforehand, if they even have any. And for me personally, my answer is absolutely 0 times, no matter how good the offer seems to be. But at the same time, I also want you to think about why it's almost a pleasure to get on a call with someone after consuming their content. And what I realized is because it's simply once you're sold on the vision that they share, you're sold on their service as well. And when this content addresses a problem that you need to solve, they become really like the first choice or like a buy for buying the service or the product to solve it. So really, I put the screenshot here to show one of my clients' YouTube channel, and so you can just like see like how this consistent input is really what's going to get prospects to trust him and nurture him much faster. Because in theory, you can go out and compete with this guy as well. You can sell the same service in the same market as other B2B companies. And they might even have the same service and the exact same business almost, and the same experience and case studies. Everything could be almost identical. But the only difference is that your competitor utilizes sales assets and content marketing. Would you still be able to get the same amount of clients and profits as your B2B competitors? The unfortunate truth is that you most likely wouldn't. And now you might be wondering, like, why is that? And the answer to that question is really why I believe that you should build an organic content funnel with sales assets included in it. And really, you want to use these assets and content to get attention for your solutions. And the key to these B2B firms' acquisition funnels is the trust that they build with their prospects. Once they have the attention, they build monetization funnels with good sales structures. And what really gives you an edge in the market is to educate prospects on the fact that there is a solution to their problem. And when they need help, they'll come begging to you for sending them an invoice, basically. And of course, the goal isn't to get famous. The goal isn't to become Mr. Beast or anything, but the goal is to build a tight audience of ideal customers. And even without thousands of followers, thousands of subscribers, having this content is really key. And it builds trust and familiarity with your ideal customers. So it will gain and maintain a competitive edge above your competitors. Even if you got a cold DM or email, you likely check the sender's social media or Google them before replying. And you really just want to exist on the internet for this reason and have an online presence, because you have to put a face to your name and your business. And by doing this, you build a lot more trust. You get a higher reply rate on the outbound prospecting, and your closing rate will skyrocket as people already know who you are and what you do. And the content and sales assets have already done all the heavy lifting for you. And it really just handles multiple objections that they potentially might have in their minds before getting on a call with you. Just like you're getting familiar with me by watching this video as well. You either came from my YouTube channel or my LinkedIn profile, for example. And you might even have checked my landing page where I embedded this video after receiving an outbound message from me. And also, as I mentioned before, 97% of the market isn't ready to buy the exact moment that you pitch them. They might not even be problem aware at all, and it really just gives you the opportunity to educate them on it. And over time, educating potential customers with content is just so valuable because it makes them aware of the obstacles that they face, and it will prepare them to come work for you, since your content positions you as the expert and the go-to person in your niche. And really what you're doing here is building a pool of potential buyers from the 97% of the rest of the market, really. They might not even be ready to invest in your solution right now, but it might just become urgent to them in a few weeks or months. And even if it's a problem they might have right now, they might not even be aware of it. So your content and sales assets should really make them aware and increase the urgency for them to take action. So there isn't really any doubt that outbound prospecting will get you clients. But if you're really serious about scaling your B2B company over time, you need to build an organic acquisition funnel that can bring in a steady and increasing flow of inbound leads to your business. And it's really something that I wish I started doing myself right as I started out in the online space, because the sooner you create content and sales assets, the faster you'll build an inbound funnel. So really, you need these sales assets and content to shorten your sales cycle, get more warm leads in your pipeline, increase your closing rate, charge more money upfront, and get more qualified sales calls and handle common and potential objections. So the third step I have included here is the sales process optimization. You might be wondering if it even makes a difference in your business to tweak your sales process, but at the same time, reflect on these points. You and your sales team probably hate when prospects schedule meetings and then don't show up. Following up on leads that slip through the pipeline is tedious. And many businesses don't even do it, even though there's a lot of potential to close these prospects, since they're the ones who have been the closest to investing in your solution. So more qualified sales calls coming into your calendar would not be something that you would say no to, of course, I don't assume. So most businesses, they just simply rely on these automated or manual reminders for prospects after they book a call with them. And they really have no assets to nurture and change the prospect's belief before the sales call. And really, what you should have in your pre-call sales process is something that's a bit more personalized, and you want to include some human interaction. You could have someone confirming the appointment, and besides that, you can send over some pre-call sales assets and materials and different follow-ups on different platforms. And this will really increase your show rate and how much people are comfortable investing with you at first. And really, it all sounds good so far, just to do this and then boom, your problems are solved. But there's just one last thing that so many businesses neglect. In case they get on a sales call with a prospect that doesn't close, or even if they don't show up, they're just simply lost and forgotten forever. These are the prospects in the sales pipeline that are on the edge of buying, and they just simply forget about them and move on to the next prospect. And even if a prospect doesn't close or show up, you should have a 4 to 12 week follow-up sequence to get them back on a call. And this is to either get a purchase decision or just to follow up with them, since they didn't even show up to the call in the first place. And this really makes sure that no leads slip through the cracks. And on top of that, you have to use a CRM to get a proper overview of every single prospect stage in your customer journey. And I just embedded a picture of a pipeline for a high ticket offer, where you can, for example, see the interest and positive replies, the people who booked the call, the people who didn't show up, the people who didn't close, and the ones who closed. So you always have the right overview of the people that you're talking to in your business. And by doing this, you always really know the next step to do with these prospects. So let's say a no close happens. What you really want to do is try to get them back to the call book so you can move them over to closed afterwards. So really, after building this entire infrastructure will help you achieve the following. You can scale your business consistently, not just short term, but also long term. You can close more clients each month, not only from outbound, but also inbound. You can get more appointments with ready to buy leads daily. You can increase your closing rate and deal sizes effortlessly. You can build an evergreen client acquisition funnel that books calls for your business with inbound leads. And you can simply start working on your business instead of being in the trenches doing every single thing yourself. And you get an outcome that is asymmetrical to the effort that you're putting in, really. So building out this entire infrastructure is obviously time consuming. It takes a lot of hours. And at the same time, having a system like this is also so invaluable, since the returns are evergreen and consistent over a longer period of time. And you will not only get clients from outbound prospecting, but also clients coming to you, the inbound clients. And this infrastructure will fill your sales pipeline not just for months, but for many, many years ahead. And really, if you're already spending a lot of time on your clients, building this system can feel really, really overwhelming because of the work required to build it and sustain it. And it can be really difficult to manage while serving clients. So if you want to get this job done with an in-house team, you would at least have to spend 20 to 30 hours per month training and managing them. And you'd also have multiple six figures in payroll annually to maintain and operate this infrastructure yourself. Not to mention, you would have to spend multiple months on testing and iterating to make it consistently converting. But alternatively, you can let us do it, so you don't have to waste another second by doing it all by yourself and wasting your valuable time. So this way, you don't really have to pay for a team of in-house people and having to train and manage them all by yourself. So if you want to scale your B2B company with this system, but lack the time and resources to do it, you can schedule a time with us down below, and we'll discuss if implementing this system for your business makes sense or not for your current situation. And in this call, you can just let me learn about your business and your current client acquisition strategy, and you will get a free audit of your current acquisition strategy for free as well. So other than that, I'll explain to you how we can build this client acquisition system for you, and you will also get a daily new flow of new leads if you have the capacity to work with more clients, if you decide to build this. And over time, you'll also become an authority in your target industry as well. Not to mention, we have an ROI guarantee on our service. ROI means return on investments for those who don't know. So that means that even when your business qualifies to work with us, even if you pay us upfront, you can't really lose money through our partnership due to this guarantee, because we want to be in the same boat as our clients pretty much. So the deliverables you can expect from our side is done for you outbound infrastructure building and the script building as well, manage sales asset ideation and optimize sales process, backend systems and automations built out done for you as well, content marketing strategy and ideation, including editing and distribution, also done for you, weekly consulting and monthly reports as well, so you always have a clear overview of what is going on and how things are going. You can really, with this infrastructure, you can easily get 5 to 10 clients in the first month, but the more effort you put into it, the bigger the returns you will see long term. And that's really what we are here for. It's not to make money in the next month, it's about making money the next decade, right? So even if you don't partner with us, there are no hard feelings. You get yourself a free audit plan and action plan that you can implement immediately right after. So really, that was all I had today. If you made it this far, feel free to book an audit and walk through a session below. But keep in mind, we only bring on 3 partners every single month. And the reason for that is because the work from our side is really, the scope of work is really wide. And we want to give our partners the best results possible. And we want to be in the same boat as our partners, as we have created this guarantee to show that, because it's a really big guarantee and I want to be able to deliver on it. So that was it. Thank you for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon.